Hey, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's your girl Viv, and I'm making another video. Thank you for tuning in for another installment of a conversation on a topic that many women are going to find to be very challenging and even controversial. Yes, we are talking once again about what women bring to the table, dowry, and how to secure a marriage in 2025. MGTOW has swept across the nation with the mainstreaming of the red pill, and men are dissatisfied with their options. Yes, it is true that men find it easy to spin plates, have a roster, and build harems of women who are always good for a good time, but they can never find wives. They can't seem to locate the good women. And ladies, before you start to get a big head and jump into the comments and claim that you are a good woman, just hold your horses. Because when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, you may have to rethink how you see yourself and what you show up with in your interactions with men. And if you are truly a good woman, then you may already have a secure relationship and be struggling to move the relationship forward to the next level. This may be the leverage you need to get a foothold in your negotiations. Now, keep in mind that nothing I am telling you is going to work out well for you in the long run if you lie or try to fake the funk. If you try to use this to game men, men will collectively abandon this as their solution to repairing the damaged relationship between men and women altogether, and then you will really have a problem on your hands. Yes, many of the solutions proffered to the public by the manosphere are ridiculous. It is highly unlikely that men are going to adopt silicone sex robots and artificial wombs as a viable alternative to having relationships with flesh and blood women, at least not in the next decade. And even if this does occur, the outcomes will probably be disastrous. And it is also not feasible that a group of people who fear a plummeting birth rate will opt to leave relationships altogether when that is the only way to create more human beings. You will not see men adopting orphans or fostering children because they could not justify doing so while also complaining about single mothers and not wanting to raise another man's child. Now, this video is not actually about what men are doing with their lives. It is about what women are doing with theirs. So many women in the last few years have voiced their frustrations and disappointments with the modern dating scene. It feels contrived. You never meet men who align and connect with you. You never feel confident, beautiful, and loved, and you never see a real future with anyone who stumbles into your aura. Hookups are not your thing, and going out on dates are just a waste of time and an added expense when men who are not serious are out for revenge upon women they may have never even had bad experiences with, or if they did, they are in feminine energy when they seek vindication against all women by targeting one woman who has done nothing wrong to them. If you have ever been stuck with the tab after being ghosted on a first date, or been on the receiving end of some random man's red pill rage online or in real life, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you feel dismayed when you get online and see the cartoonish videos of quote-unquote trad women who are cohabitating with men, calling themselves stay-at-home girlfriends, and using their sexuality to try to lure simps by baking pies half naked, then you might truly benefit from these videos, and I sincerely hope that you find some workable, actionable steps that you can take to improve your prospects and find something close to a loving relationship that leads to real, genuine commitment. Keep in mind, this is not dating advice. If you have not seen my video titled Women Have Been Duped, you can find it on my channel page. Manipulators, snakes, mean girls, and feminists are not going to benefit from this information whatsoever, and I sincerely hope that if you attempt to use this information as a weapon, that you suffer the worst consequences imaginable. With that being said, I want to let you ladies know what the newest trend is going to be with men in the coming months and years. Keep in mind, I am going to arm you against scammers, con men, grifters, playboys, simps, and generally unserious and unqualified men who are not looking for marriage but know that they can dangle promises in front of you like a carrot on a stick in order to trick you into bed or into giving them money. These videos will help you disarm men who are suspicious of your good intentions, but with one very important caveat. If you do not practice savage exclusion, you will wind up going in circles with men who may be interested but have too many trust issues, lack of respect, or deeply ingrained habits with women that will leave you drained, heartbroken, and losing time you could be spending with someone who doesn't have those hang-ups. Once again, I have to make this very clear. This is not dating advice. I do not recommend going out to meet men. I do not recommend getting on dating sites. I do not recommend hiring dating coaches or even consuming any content on social media related to dating in any way, shape, or form. I do have some book recommendations, but I do not encourage women to read books about dating, and I especially do not want women to discuss this topic with any other females unless you have a strong relationship and they are genuine, true, loyal friends and companions. This is not for mean girl gossip or frenemy level relationships. If you are close with your mother or grandmother or an aunt or sister or someone that you truly loves you and wants the best for you and who will root for you to win in all areas of your life, then they have qualified themselves as a confidant who you can bring something like this to bounce ideas off of and maybe even grow together. I do not want to see women in my comment section crying because they got together with their friend, play cousins, Tammy and Keisha, and they laughed and stopped talking to you or put you down and now you lost a friend. No, they weren't your friends to begin with, and if they were, they would have been on your side and wanted to ride with you. Also, if you have malicious or selfish intentions, you probably are on the wrong channel and you won't be able to uphold your ruse for long. You might even not be able to watch these videos. Men will be able to tell that you're faking, and so will women who are serious. And I hope this information empowers women to call out the bad actors from among us. No more mean girl culture. No more feminist sisterhood. No more bad dating advice. No more gold digger games. No more self-prostituting. No more OnlyFans. No more hooking up. No more situationships. No more friends with benefits. No using sex to get love on any level. And no using sex and withholding sex in order to try to manipulate men to give you what you want. I am not going to teach women girl game. These videos are not lover girl lessons, and I do not encourage women to email me to seek out coaching. If you want to know what lover girl style is, if you want coaching, you can go get on the coaching program merry-go-round and waste all your money learning the same bad tactics that have already wrecked your love life. One last thing before I get into this new trend the men are going to be flocking to in the near future. I make zero guarantees. You can mess this up big time, and so can any one of the many men who are going to jump on this bandwagon. But here's why the risk is worth the reward. You will have built a foundation with a man who is trustworthy, respectful, wants to be a father and a husband and a provider, who is looking for a commitment and not just playing around wasting your time. You will automatically be selecting for marriage-minded men who actually like women, and you will enjoy this process much more than getting steamrolled in a dating market that is designed for everyone to fail. You will not have to manipulate or be underhanded with men in order to get them before they get you. You will not have the stress of worrying about every move you make being the wrong move. You will have an ever-growing sense of self-respect. You will have a rising sense of genuine pride and a real accomplishment that no one can fire you from or take from you. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into this new trend. Following right on the heels of the trad movement is something that is so terrifying to most women, and as I'm discovering, a lot of men, and that's the concept of dowry. Now, before you get your knickers in a twist, take a deep breath. I already know what you're going to say. This is patriarchy, this is subjugation of women, this is misogyny, and it's putting women back in the Stone Age. Whatever objection you have, that's fine, that's great. But what if all that were wrong? What if you have been lied to about what the old-fashioned, stone-aged, legitimate traditions were and how they were really put into practice? And what if you were told those lies just to keep you on a merry-go-round where you just lost more and more and more value and self-respect every time you tried to make things work? If you are still with me at this point, ladies, thank you. Please give yourself a huge pat on the back for being open-minded and for sticking around for this info. I want to encourage you because you do not have to be guilted into settling for less than you deserve. You do not have to sell yourself short to get fake love. You do not have to lose self-respect and self-esteem trying to convince any man to take you seriously. You are going to cross the threshold into the real world. This is the real red pill. This information and women using it to empower themselves is going to be a sword that will pierce the vanity and ego of all PUAs, playboys, MGTOWs, and real red pill gurus who claim they have the final say on who you are and what you are worth. I know many of you have been asked outright what you bring to the table. Obviously you have, because you would have no clue about the question if someone hadn't already asked you. All women are going to answer that question in similar ways for reasons that will become more and more obvious the more you learn about dowry. I will link some easy-to-read websites in the description, and if you want to jump ahead and look at them, you will only give yourself that much more of an edge because we are going to go over the information in those links in a future video. So how does this trend work? That is the only question that really matters. Men are going to be requiring women to, quote-unquote, bring something to the table, and they are going to be crass about it because they are men, and badly behaved women have set the bar so low that men can barely be civil and polite anymore, which, if we are honest, is a large portion of what we really want. They are going to be listening to your answer. When they ask you what you bring to the table, and the answer cannot be anything close to, I bring myself, I bring a great personality, I bring a degree and these professional accreditations and achievements, I bring that good, I bring X amount of dollars in income from my career. None of those answers are going to be acceptable. In fact, if you do not have a genuine, sincere response that is wholly and uniquely representative of who you are, what your morals are, and what you are seeking in a committed, serious marriage, then you are going to be disqualified. Other unacceptable responses include listing your hobbies, interests, or opinions. Avoid politics altogether once you have determined you share enough values and goals and have matching standards in enough areas to make it worth keeping any man you meet around. And if that is accomplished, then they should have made the same determination about you. If a man is trying to get you to have sex and using the promise of marriage to lure you into something you don't want to do, if you want to retain the value you are building, then let them go. It does not matter how much money a guy has, how cute or sexy he is, how charming or funny or charismatic. A lot of men are going to figure out how to use this trend to rehash the old PUA playbook. Do not fall for the okie doke. In a later video, I'm going to help you craft your identity and present yourself in a way that truly communicates that you value yourself and see yourself as worthy. Someone who has the qualities that make men fall in love, and someone who wants to fall in love. It is my hope that I help at least one woman become someone who knows how to earn respect and show respect, and not just keep him interested with stupid ploys and manipulations. If you truly absorb this, you can become so interesting and unique that you won't need to play any dumb games. And if you do this right, you will learn how to qualify men against a standard that is going to eliminate all of the men you don't want. Other need-to-know tidbits about the dowry trend. The dowry is a top-down system that once dictated society for everyone all over the world. And yes, it is stone-aged. It's so old that we cannot accurately estimate when it started, except to say there are traits common in all of the societies that practice it, and there are still large portions of the world's population that maintain a dowry system. And not all of those cultures are cultures that you would label as being stuck in the past or stone-aged. They may not be wealthy countries, but that's beside the point. It is not going to be possible for modern Western people to fully absorb this system of structuring a social hierarchy because there are issues within the legal system in the West and the mentality and conditioning of the majority of people that are going to make that impossible for this current generation. But if successful unions result from this trend, then it would be expected that the children born out of those marriages would be armed and equipped with the knowledge to carry this tradition forward into the future to better society for everyone in the West, whether they adhere to a dowry system or not. So, in this video, we have covered some very important points related to the dowry trend that is going to become mainstreamed at some point and is probably going to happen very quickly. So it is important that if you are a woman to get in front of this. We talked about why men are looking to reinstate some form of dowry in Western society. We talked about many of the behaviors that you should already be avoiding if you are genuinely a good, honest woman. And if you are digging yourself out of a hole as a woman, then you should have a fairly good outline of what behaviors to steer clear of if you want to get back on track. We talked about some of the major pitfalls, including losing support from friends and family, as well as being aware that there are going to be bad actors from both the female side and the male side trying to use this trend for personal gain and not to improve anyone's existence or build healthy families and communities. We talked about some of the things you never want to say when a man asks you what you bring to the table. We talked a tiny bit about dowry, and I provided you with some links so that you can learn more and maybe dispel some of your preconceived and entirely inaccurate notions about the system that was once the only way humans handled marriage for thousands and thousands of years. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your support and your time and attention. Please remember to leave a comment and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Click the bell so you never miss a video. You do not want to let this opportunity pass you by, ladies. You deserve to be happy and to have a man who is happy to have you. That's all for today.